Welcome back to Factorio, and it's time to bring our power, well, not power, our metal production up a notch. We have been using these furnaces. They work very well to separate things out and work quite cleanly as well. And obviously I have some up here that are just producing copper still. They're just, in fact, they're nearly finished. It just depends how fast they use up the red circuits before they run out of the original stuff, and then we've got all this coming into these set of furnaces. But these are nowhere near good enough. We're going to have to get up to the next stage in this. So to start off with, we want more of these plants. I want another 3 of them at least. Let me just pop in a few of these. So I've changed this over. This was just, I think, critting stone brick. I've just put them into factories and boxing the stone for now. I did start crafting some more ore crushers. There we go. So we're going to want something like this, and then every 2 we just want there go my nanobots. We just want something like this. So we're going to repeat this pattern, and I think we just want 1 more set and 2 more. Okay, and do I have any more belts? I do have belt. Good. We are going to need lots more power, and that's going to become a different kind of challenge very, very soon now. So let's just drop these in place. That's all connected up. And then we can just copy across the recipes. There we go. I'm going to need lots of inserters, of course, so I may as well start crafting a few. And then we're going to need to craft, and you'll see what we're actually researching. I'm researching copper smelting. I've already done the iron smelting and the metallurgy 1. So that will get us blast furnaces, which I would need to make next. You can see here metallurgy smelting. We can get access to blast furnaces, chemical furnaces, and induction furnaces and casting machines. None of them, you'll notice, need basic electronic boards. So I can actually pocket craft them quite easily, just so we get lots and lots of iron. So let's just grab you, and I think it's 1 block space, is it? Something like that between these. Have I got it lined up there? It looks like I've got it lined up. So we just do that across, and there we go. And then we're going to need inserters, of course, to run between these. And into the stone machines, which of course we're going to need to add boxes to. I'm going to need 1 on the end here. So just 1 more, unfortunately. There we go, and they all need power. So I'm just going to put some coal in each one of them. There we go. That should already set up. They need to have their stuff inserted, which needs a little bit more power. So let's just see where I put power. Will you connect up without problems? Looks like you will. And I'll just put these in the ghost form. Whoops, ghost form there. And as soon as these finish building, the bots should do just fine. They'll place there in place. There we go, see? So they're feeding in. Are they feeding into this next one? No, they need the recipes as well, which they'll all start up. And then we need to box stone coming out of each of these stone plants for now. So we can put something like this in place. And again, as soon as those inserters get built, the bots will take care of it. So from here then, yeah, here's the issue. If we do this, we're going to get a lot of this stuff coming out. So what are we actually going to do with this? Let's just take a look. Yeah, let me see what I can do. All right, so let's start with these machines. We've got the blast furnace Mark 1, the induction furnace Mark 1, and the casting machine Mark 1. Okay. Each of those has different inputs, so let's get this started. This one still takes fuel. We need to get to Mark 2, I guess, for the other one, for the one that doesn't take fuel. So from this, I just want to hopefully I have enough room here. If I don't, it doesn't matter too much. I can just send all the ores on the belt here. And the good advantage with these blast furnaces is that, in fact, let me just do that. Let me just cancel you for a second. And let's say we sent belt the other way for now. And it's got slag on it. No real problem. Not something I have to deal with just yet. I do need more belt though. Give me some more belt, please. So if we put a blast furnace, where are you? There we go. So after the last of these 4, we put our first blast furnace. Or maybe we send it the other way. Maybe we send it north. We'll see once this actually works out. So we've got our blast furnace here-ish. And then from there, we're going to feed it into the induction furnace. I'm not stood where it needs to go. And we want to output to the right. Let me just get rid of these trees. Having nanobats this early does make things a little bit easier about dealing with trees. There we go. Once they're close enough anyway. We need to get range for that. In fact, they'll build the rest of that. So, yeah, we want molten iron in this one. We want iron ingots in this one. And then we want the casting machine, which can feed, I'm guessing, directly from that. Because we have an output right there. I'll just press Alt so you can see it. And an input here. So we're going to need some power. So let's make a few power poles. And how's our power coming? That's fine. Are you going to construct the rest of that belt? Go bots. Go bots. There we go. So let's just put a power pole here, here, and here. And some more belt for now. In fact, actually, I just want to cut it off there temporarily. And we're going to insert into here. I'm just going to feed this for now manually with some coal. And that should be ready once it starts inserting and I get power. Once we start inserting onto the belt. So we can put these 2 back. And along comes some copper, some iron, and some slag will come along as well. And that's actually why I might want that belt to keep going. We want the slag to be dealt with at the end. So this should feed in iron only. And then turn it into molten iron once I put an inserter. And make some lights so you all can see things. That should make molten iron, which should be then cast into iron ingots via this and then output somewhere. So, you know, maybe we have a belt returning along this line or something along those lines. I'll have to arrange this in a neat little fashion. Are you now working? How much do you take for that recipe? You need 24 ore to start. Okay, so let me just actually make sure you can start just by putting more of that on. And let's make sure we power the casting machine as well. And then I guess we've got to output the casting machine somewhere. So again, temporarily, let's just put this on. Let's see how well this works. There we go. And this is not going to work without... I need to run this ore off somewhere. Okay, so this setup appears to be working well, at least to start with. We'll see how well it goes once the capacity is tested. But we're going to have copper on this bottom side, iron on the top, and they're both being fed into these perpendicular belts, which are going to return back towards, well, here's our starter base, if you like. In this mod pack, it's going to be definitely a starter base. We're going to have a lot of stuff going, but we got copper going this way. And the bots are probably just going to start construction now. I need to make more transport belts, however. Which it's fine now that we've got at least a decent source of iron. I am going to need to hook up the rest of these ore sorting facilities, however. These are just being fed by one at the moment. To send this full speed, we're going to have to definitely supply it with more than one. I think it's all 4, but let me just hook up the power and then we'll see how well that goes. I just want to make sure, oops, not there. Something like that. And then we'll make more power poles, more inserters, and hopefully I'm going to get some more iron to be able to build all this stuff. It is being built, but just not fast enough. I'm definitely going to have to add assembling machines to make a lot of this stuff. Although, you know, in this case, we'll see how it goes. The slag is making it all the way to the end, which is then being processed by these 2 ore crushers into just boxed stone for now. I guess we could void that at some point if there is a way to void it, but otherwise, these 2 are grabbing. I've got 4 inserters on each side. That's about as much as I can actually do without some shenanigans of, you know, splitting this 2 ways and sending them like an input, a secondary input belts and all kinds of stuff like that. Hopefully this will take care of it. If necessary, we can upgrade these a little bit later. But I need basic electronic boards to get to fast inserters. And you see my tropials with filter inserters. So yeah, let's see whether these can work. Okay, so they're feeding the belt. These are feeding the belt. I'm just wondering if I'm going to run out of belt. If I need to move the two of these to the other side. Hopefully not, but we'll see that shortly. Let's just pop these in place. And I'm probably going to need another one here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Sort of an iron copper production facility, and then of course, as before, I'm probably going to have to apply this all the way up here. At the moment, though, obviously this copper and iron ore is being fed onto our existing furnaces, so I do still have a source of iron and copper down here. Like, there's 450 iron, and I've used all the copper, but I've got plenty of that in my inventory. So I do have, you know, reserves from our other patch of ore. This is now piled back far enough that this is now fast enough to... Is it the speed of the process, or is it just that I don't think these are unloading it fast enough? So if we make a few more, that seems like a fast enough process. It just needs more crushed stone. Fine, that we can do. And probably want one on this side as well, which should work. And then we'll have to see whether the bottleneck moves further out towards the box. I don't think it will do. We'll see how well that goes. And I'm going to build more belts and obviously get these belts running back and in. Okay, so having watched this for a little while, I created a quick loop here just to take care of anything that didn't get grabbed immediately by these. I think we're having some issues either with things piling back or these not being able to pull everything off the belt in time. So, you know, we may have to wait for better technology for that. However, we have got the system running now. What I did was, let me just grab all this iron. I'm going to need it. This blast furnace produces twice as much as it needs. So I had two induction furnaces off it, and each of those with a casting machine. And they will put onto one side of a belt, which gets merged into a single belt at the top. Same thing at the bottom, no real difference there. Anything that makes it past these will go into these ore crushers, which will make the stone and box it up for now. And if it makes it past those, then it's usually stuff like a piece of ore or a couple of pieces of ore will just go past and get inserted onto the other side of this belt. So, you know, once everything's running, let me just grab some of this copper as well so that the stuff isn't backing up. Stuff very rarely makes it past this. It's only if these belts fill up and aren't in use. If it pals back to here, then stuff ends up going past, and, you know, there's other issues that we need to sort. So that's why I've got this outer loop. Normally I wouldn't put them in place. Not sure if I mentioned the changes I made to the greenhouse setup that we did last episode. If I haven't, then I may as well show you that, but let me just grab these for a second and just extend them. What did I have up here that needed a box of stone? There's quite a lot of it. Must be the original stone sorters for this. That's fine. We don't necessarily need them just yet. And of course now, all this setup over here is a bit redundant with all of these smelters. So what I may have to do is send that ore this way or something like that. And up here, build another setup just like this. Maybe, you know, 4 sorters here, and then another setup and merge everything back together. So going back this way. We could just keep going east, I suppose, but it's fine. So yeah, the enhancements to the greenhouse setup, I put in another one of our biofarms. And I just rearranged everything a little bit. So each of these produces double what it needs. So I've got 2 of the bionurseries either side. What I could do, and this looks tempting, is just actually feed wood straight back out of the biofarm straight into here, and then they wouldn't need this outer loop. But what I didn't want to happen is that maybe the other I need to output the wood somewhere else for other processes. So I didn't want this to get starved of resources and the whole thing would just shut down. So what I want to make sure of is that it always feeds the wood out, and these ores have the opportunity first, before I do anything else with them, to grab wood, which is why these long-handed inserters are here. I couldn't figure out a way of getting this more compact than it already is. So we got wood here. These are, that's backed up, that's backed up, that's backed up because we've got lots and lots of wood. So from this I can then, I guess, let's just grab all of you, we don't need you. We can make a quick wood factory, I guess you call it, a sawmill of some kind. We can just make this regular wood, wherever it is, the planks. Are they not called planks? It's like processed wood. What else would you call it? Just wood? It's for wood floors, I guess. And then, you know, we can just feed stuff into it, provide a little bit of power, and that will produce this kind of wood. And this is used by the start of the circuit board factory that we're going to need to build out of lots of assembling machines. So that's good enough to at least start, and it's going to be pretty fast at doing it. So I'm not going to worry initially on making lots of those, although it is a little annoying that I can't route belts properly, but yeah, that's a different issue. So we're just going to send it this way and then build a couple of inserters, and we'll bring this towards wherever our factory is. In fact, we could probably build it up here. We're going to have all the iron and copper coming across, so we got the coal here. What on earth is that? What? There's something going wrong with that texture. I don't know what that is. I think you're seeing it on the recording as well. Let's just ignore that little problem and carry on with this build. So have we got everything we need now? Let me just double check on what we need for the basic electronic boards. So the other thing we need is resin, and we can make that through one of our normal assembling machines, again near the wood factory. So I guess what I could do is utilize half a belt for each, maybe. I'm not sure whether I want to do that. We need to make solder, and that's solder, not soda, if you're American. There's an L, and it's not silent. I'm sorry to point that out. Anyway, we needed tin and lead plates. So we've got tin here. Do I have lead anywhere? What does it come from? I think I've already got lead. Yeah, where is the lead plate coming from? Lead ore is what I want. Let's use this. This should be easier. Alright, lead plates. We can make it from molten lead. That's the metallurgy recipe. Lead ore comes from crushed rubyite. Okay, do I have a rubyite anywhere? Yes, I do. I just don't have anything on it right now. So yeah, I'm going to have to set that up. And let me set something quick up there, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so the simplified setup, rather than the blast furnace setup, is set up here now next to the rubyite. It does exactly the same thing as this setup. The only thing different is that it outputs two different ores. One is lead, which we want, and the other one looks superficially like tin, which would be amazing. We could just make solder. It's not tin, it's nickel, which is precisely useless right now. But I do want to keep that boxed. So yeah, I've just got this feedback loop going in here. If these can't process the lead, it's just going to feed them into the boxes, and that's going to fill these up, and we'll deal with it later. I've also brought the resin and the wood all the way up from our greenhouse setup, all the way up here, so we can then feed them into this. So we want the feeding of lead into these. And I'm just going to have to move that power pole for a second. And then lead into the solder plants, which should also be getting resin. You also need tin. Now, I don't have tin right now, which means I'm going to have to feed them manually to start off with. That's no big deal. Just something for me to keep in mind. I'm just going to put in a couple of boxes, something like here, and then where did I put my tin plant? Of course, the tin is nowhere near the lead, which is pretty much normal for me. So yeah, here's our tin box. How much is in here? Lots. Okay, so I'm just going to use these boxes to buffer it for now. Which should do us quite a large amount of solder, I think. So let's put you in place here and here. And let's split this up roughly evenly. Okay, and they should both output fine onto a belt, which I need to put down. There we go, we got solder plate. And solder plate gets made into solder using this. So I just need to feed in, oh, hang on, no, solder plate, wait. No, what am I feeding out from there for? Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. I can just put the solder plate back in. I'd already set up the outputs. Where's the solder plate? Can I not see it? Solder? I can't filter my inventory. Is it in one of my hotbar slots? Anyway, this is fine. So it's producing solder, which is one of our ingredients that we want. So the basic electronic board. Solder. We can make basic circuit boards, handcrafted or otherwise, and we can make basic electronic components. Now, basic electronic components are down here. I've been boxing them, so again, we can just manually sort of ladle them over for now. And then we can set this setup up here that will make basic circuit boards. And they need insulating board and copper cable. So insulating board takes wood and stone tablets. So if we have, let's say, stone bricks anywhere up there at the top, we can actually reproduce this setup. And we have copper here, so, you know, we can reproduce that setup. Let's take a look at that one. Do I have anywhere I can certainly get stone from there and there. That might be a good option. Do I have it anywhere in here? I have lots of stone from all of these. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of options. Let me take a look, and I think probably here I'm going to grab it from, and then we'll start another process. Okay, so we've got our setup here now. We've got the basic boards going into the basic circuit boards, another set of copper cables coming in, and we're producing solder, basic circuit boards, and electronic components I'm bringing up from this iron chest. I think I'm probably going to have to handcraft the first few, are they? Basic... Yeah, I am, because I think I need to make the tier 2 assembly machines. And those, didn't I say it was tier 2 last episode? I hope I did. They need 4 of these basic electronic boards. Let's just grab some of you. And let me just make sure I've got 4 of them. And then what else does this need? Lots of iron from the looks of things. So let's go and grab some iron. And you'll see now this is why I don't like loops. When you're not using all this iron and copper, things get backed up. So this may it should rebalance itself, but it brings down the throughputs. That's why I want filter inserters, just to mean that I can just filter off anything off the end and back into dedicated lines rather than these mixed lines. Very much want to do that. So we'll get to that soon enough now that we have this. What do we need for those filter inserters again? Filter... I can make them now, but it's 4 basic electronic boards each. So let's actually make the assembly machine 2 first and see if that's actually what we need to... In fact, we can't build that there. Ah, you go away. I think this is what we need. We'll soon find out. It's nearly complete. This has been a good episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let's just see with these last few seconds whether this achieves what I wanted. Where is that assembly machine 2? Doesn't matter where I put it, but let's just move it across one. There we go. And we want to feed in you. Let's see if the recipe is available for you. It is. Good. And then we can then put in the final bit with that, and then I guess just box them up for now. Don't have to do anything explicit with them. We'll feed them off into another process later. And I'm going to inserter or 2. So we've got basic electronic boards. I can just click to get 2 and 4, which means I've got filter inserters. So next episode, I think we're going to upgrade everything to separate out all these separate things without these sort of horrible, yeah, let's take everything off the belt before it gets to the end kind of approaches, which rather not great, to be perfectly honest. Not a fan. But it's more of an early game thing, you know? Well, we're going to get all of this stuff done now. So the only thing manual is I have to bring these up. I guess I could feed them up, but they're all the way near the coal. It's the coal that's the issue. So we have to feed coal up here as well and then reproduce this setup with copper. We could do it, and I probably will do it at some point. It's just moving this bit, if you like, over there. So, yeah, we'll see. If you have any comments, if you think I can do anything better, if you've used Angels and Bobs before, feel free to let me know. I quite like this setup, aside from, again, the lack of filter inserters. So what we'll likely do with those is feed them onto separate lines, and then I may have to rework this somehow. I may have to move these down and keep everything separate. But I'll have a look for some nice, efficient, compact setups, and we'll see you next episode. So thanks for watching, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.